Pigs have one alarmingly human trait that has scientists at a loss. Americans typically associate pigs with one of two images: a fat, mud-covered animal frolicking in the muck, or a big plate of bacon, maybe a pork taco. But throughout history and literature, pigs have had huge roles in not just what we eat, but also what we know about learning and science in the brain. In fact, a recent study proves there's a lot more to the average swine than we may have previously known. If you need to know something about the intelligence of pigs, Dr. Candace Cronley has you covered. The director of the Center for Animal Welfare Science at Purdue University and a professor in animal behavior, she's conducted some of the most thorough studies on swine. Her most recent experiment could completely change our eating habits. It all started when Dr. Cronley partnered with Sarah T. Boysen, a chimpanzee expert out of Ohio State University, to better understand the intelligence of pigs. They echoed a classic quote from Winston Churchill: "Dogs look up to us, cats look down on us, pigs treat us as equals." But how much truth was there to this? Of course, pigs aren't the only animals getting the sort of attention. Dolphins, octopuses, and monkeys have also been the subject of intellectual studies, earning plenty of comparisons to humans in matters of thinking in the brain. But as experts have pointed out, not nearly enough research has been dedicated to the average farm animal. "We still underestimate the smarts of pigs and farm animals in general," she told CNN. "As this avenue of research, farm animal cognition, is taking off steam, we'll likely see more research on more sophisticated learning and cognitive skills of farm animals over the next years." Cronley and Boysen hope to fill in that research gap, and they started with a study conducted out of the flagship campus of Pennsylvania State University, located in the town of State College. Their article was published in a journal called Frontiers in Psychology. The proposed study, titled "Acquisition of a Joystick-Operated Video Task by Pigs," wanted to evaluate if pigs could learn to play video games. Specifically, they wanted to know if pigs could learn the complex concepts of the games and not just press a joystick at random. The question wasn't completely out of the blue. Back in 1997, while Dr. Candace Cronley was getting a PhD in cognizance, she attempted a similar experiment. In that study, the pigs used a joystick to move shapes across the screen. The conclusion was that pigs could move a cursor across the screen with a joystick, but experts weren't sure if pigs understood the task at a fundamental level. The subjects of the study were 4 pigs named Omelette, Hamlet, Ivory, and Ebony. "A lot rested on their shoulders," as Dr. Candace Cronley put it. This sort of study is important because, as with any sentient beings, how we interact with pigs and what we do to them impacts and matters to them. So let's get into what actually happened between the scientists and the piggies. It all started with a game. But this wasn't any ordinary video game. It didn't involve graphics or catchy superheroes. Instead, it was extremely primitive, involving only a wall, a cursor, a target, and a joystick. Specifically, the game worked like this. There was a wall on the screen, and the pig had to direct a cursor around that wall using only their snout and a joystick. Originally, the video game was created for monkeys, who were able to use their opposable thumbs to win. Could pigs pull off the same feat with their noses? If so, they got food. The pigs played the game over 50 times, facing 3 different levels. One level had 1 wall to navigate, level 2 had 2 walls, and level 3 had 3. As more walls appeared, navigating the cursor to the target became more and more difficult. Across the board, all the pigs who participated reported having some level of success, though some of them performed far better than others. Let's start with Hamlet and Omelette, 2 Yorkshire pigs. As Hamlet and Omelette started playing the game, they both performed better than random chance on levels with 1 or 2 walls. This meant, in some capacity, they weren't just getting lucky. They were truly directing the cursor to the target based on their intellect. But then fate threw a wrench in the study. After 12 weeks, the study wasn't to be for Hamlet and Omelette, as they grew too big to keep going. They didn't fit in their pen anymore and couldn't effectively play the game. Ebony and Ivory also showed promising results. Both 2-year-old Panapinto micro pigs, Ivory and Ebony were involved with Cronley and Boyson's study for over 15 months. Ivory was better than random chance on every level. With just one wall blocking his path, he hit the target 76% of the time. On 1 wall and 3 wall levels, Ebony performed better than chance. But these weren't the most incredible findings. At one point in the study, the machine that rewarded pigs with food actually broke. Experts continue pushing the pigs just by offering words of encouragement, and the swines actually kept playing the games and trying to win. Of course, the pigs were at a big disadvantage from the start, too. Like a few other mammals, pigs have eyes that are pretty close to their snouts. What this means is that they weren't able to see the joystick and track what was happening on the television at the same time. So not only were they playing the game well, they weren't really able to see the full picture. Because they're farsighted, pigs have to rely on short-term memory to make sense of the cursor, target, and wall. This might not be the most reliable way to figure out one's surroundings, but it does the trick for pigs. At the end of the study, the experts were forced to grapple with a tricky question that could affect all of humanity. The pigs clearly understood the connection between their own behavior, the joystick, and what was happening on the screen, commented neuroscientist Lori Marino. What makes these findings even more important is that the pigs in this study displayed self-agency, which is the ability to recognize that one's own actions make a difference. Not many other animals possess this trait, as it's humans who have the highest intelligence out of all creatures in the animal kingdom. But how smart do you think you are? When it comes to scoring your intelligence quota, or IQ, there are certain key personality traits that people of higher than average all share, and they might not even know it. Please share this story with your friends and family.